Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toko Portal podcast for Machine Sentai Kiramager. I am the man with the plan, Vashi V, who didn't screw this up 3 weeks in a row.
Uh,
I say that like I do any hard work for this podcast.
you see, you say that, and because you weren't immediately saying I'm Vashi V, my immediate thought was, is he screwing up again?
Uh, Joining me today is.
Right. Uh, Welcome to Kier Major episode 37. Immediately, Carantula is alive. What,
God, what a fucking.
what emotion am I supposed to be feeling right now? We had that huge discussion last week about how it was the perfect send-off for him. It was his best plan yet. The Cure Majors were at their highest moment with their strong bond. Like, how could you top that? Like,
Do you want to know how you top that? By him being smart enough to know there might be a problem. Because that's exactly what he did.
so, just like how the Bomb Jawman, split into five earlier in the series, Carantula also split into five, and it was only one of him that went out while the other four remerged.
Because, fail safes.
So he is only 80% Carantula. Or as
Damn.
Garza puts it, you're 20% off Carantula now?
Fucking, fucking Garuza, man.
So,
I will admit, the look of shock on his face when Carantula just started just
like,
plodding through. He's like,
yo, I thought you died.
I like the fact that it was literally let's basically put what the viewers are gonna think as a line. It's like, wait, we all saw that, right?
It's like, hold up. Were you not on the monster that blew up?
Just no, straight dead. YouTube is being weird right now. It says we're okay. Yeah, it's
Um,
being weird and going excellent connection. Still live, but no data.
yeah, I just checked. We were in the red for a second there. Have some drop frames, but not much. Do I have any open programs? Uh, can close this.
Which
See if that helps.
at least in the playback, it didn't look like there was anything that, like, it didn't look like it jerked or anything.
No, but gotta keep an eye on it. Okay, so
Yeah.
so Carantula is feeling down because Emperor Yodam himself gave Carantula a scolding for his failure, which surprises Yodana because despite being his secretary, she's never actually met Emperor Yodam. She's only ever received orders from him through her communication device.
What a shitty secretary.
Uh,
Like, I realize, like, older Sentai, that's kind of been a thing. Because, like, a lot of the older Sentais are, like, the monsters follow, like, the business model. For some of them, and this is part of what gets parodied in, like, Akiba Ranger and stuff like that. And a lot of the, like, animated parodies of Sentai.
I'll
Like,
argue that it's not the secretary's fault the boss doesn't want to see her.
yeah, no, it's not her fault. In this particular case, no, it's not her fault.
But you called her a shitty secretary.
Well, just in the aspect of, if I'm a secretary, I'm expecting to have seen the boss, and if I'm still working for this guy, yeah, I'm gonna have met him if I'm his personal secretary. If not, I'm not working for him anymore. I realize there's not much of a choice in this matter.
Yeah,
But under the guise
Yodana
of a
literally can't meet him, which we will.
yeah, which we will get
Well,
to in a
we
little bit.
already like figured this out though because they foreshadowed it. But
Right,
yeah,
because we theorized on this at the end of uh, what was it, like 2 weeks ago?
it was either last week
Like
or two
two
weeks
or
ago.
three
But
weeks
yeah,
ago.
no, like we already figured this out. But to get the reveal, they're like, yeah, no, that's real. It's like that's really good. They
Yeah,
drop
the
the
reveal
hints
was
for the audience and then give you the reveal.
and masterfully.
uh, okay, so this week's episode is a scene episode. So Yodana receives orders from Emperor Yodam. Meet King Oladin. So while Sahayo and Sina are out at lunch, Yodana just bursts in and kicks over a sign.
Like you do.
Tends to get a fight so she can ask them, where is King Oladin? She then whips Sina and accidentally splits her into five because her whip was still on that setting from when Carantula used it.
I like the fact that she pointed out that that was an accident.
Yeah, like the look on her face, like, oh, whoops,
I
this
didn't
is
mean to
not
do that.
according to plan. But then one of the Cenas, because they all have they're different parts of her personality, one of them is just like, yeah, you'll never get to King Oladin because he's an Automald and you can't go there.
Because of course.
And then Yoda realizes, like, wait, Automald? Garuza's mentioned that place before. Alright, thanks.
Peace out. And then, of course, one of them is pulling Jewel of the World.
Hmm.
It's all I could think of until they actually delved into that one.
Yeah, so you've got, like, the optimistic one, the smart one, the cute one, the, I don't know, energetic one. But then you've got
Yeah.
the pessimistic one.
Which, through this episode, given the way it plays out, I was like, they did a good job of feeding enough information to us to where we could see where this was going to go and why it plays out the way it does in the end. And it's very, very well done.
Yeah, so when they're out to lunch, the thing Cena wanted to order was out, so she already had a backup plan in mind. And she had a backup plan for that as well in case that was out. So Saya was impressed, like, oh, you always think ahead, don't you? Well, of course, if someone were, say, like, we're at a track meet, if someone gets hurt, I need to be prepared to account for that in case we need to sub.
And it's actually really accurate too. Like even hers, like, oh well, if track didn't work out, I was gonna work in a hamburger stand.
Yeah, like, she thinks ahead, which is why she's able to charge ahead and go do things quickly, because she calculates the risks in her mind.
Right.
It's like, what could go wrong? Alright. Now that I've accounted for that, I have my next 5 plans.
Based on and all varying degrees of success and failure. Like it's episodes like this that add much more depth to a character.
Right. Especially since Cena gets the fewest amount of attention.
Right.
Uh,
Which
this was a much needed, like, yeah, no, she's awesome.
I'm glad they didn't do her like the last female green we had.
Oh, Kiramager?
Yeah. They shafted Hami hard.
They shafted everyone hard. Like, fucking
That's
Raptor.
true.
She got, like, a couple episodes early on about how much she wanted to be a Kiramager, and then when she finally became one, nothing. Just
Right.
fucking flat lines.
The closest we got to any type of plot development with her was the henshin lesson where we find out that she wants to date Yellow.
Right. Fucking Spada got more character development than her because at the end of the series, when it's pretty much clear, like, oh, these two are dating.
Yeah. but it's nice seeing character development that's not pulled through other characters, and very well-rounded character development too. This series has been pretty solid with that.
Yeah. But the pessimistic Cena is worried that, like, hey, if we're split into five, then we might only have one-fifth the strength each. What if that's not even enough to transform?
Because only one of us has the changer. Like, she seriously really thinks everything out, and it's actually very important.
And then, so they need to at least consider a way to bring them back together. So Murio,
God damn, I've been waiting for this moment.
you've been waiting for the reference.
I've been waiting for the full-on reference, and I was not prepared for it to be with Sena.
We have Cena 1, and we have Cena 2, and Cena!
Pen, pineapple, apple, pen. Like, I knew they were going to do something beyond just, like, the site references to it. Because how could you not?
So they realized they were overthinking it, and the first four Cenas all merged together by hugging.
Yeah. Good to know that works.
The pessimistic one decides not to rejoin, however, because I will only drag her down. I'm the pessimistic side that, only looks on the bad side of things. To which my immediate thought was, well, that's bullshit. You're a part of Cena. She's only the way she is because of you.
Right. I mean, in the end, that's literally how it plays out. But, yeah, it was one of those, like, how in the fuck is this? Ignoring the mumble jumble of leaving somebody half intact, or partially intact. What the hell was her plan?
Burgers.
How?
I don't know.
One person cannot exist in two places. That is tax problems out the ass.
She could have adopted her own identity.
Yeah, Carrot's probably rich. It got enough funds that they could do that.
Could have, started calling herself Ghost Cena or something.
Oh, God.
So...
Well, no. Only if she marries Shinji. Or Shinjima, or whatever the fuck his actual name was.
Who are you specifically talking about?
Mach.
Shishima Go.
Yeah.
So, Yodana and Garuza go to Hakobu to try and force him to take them to Automald again. But this time Hakobu's prepared. He learned how to counter that shit that Garuza did.
Which, thank God, because I was like, I did not need another episode of him apologizing.
So, plan B. Bring Olodin to them. Garuza hops in his dino train and goes to town.
Because now Garuza's interested.
Well, like, Yodana explained to him, was like, hey, I need to meet King Olodin, take me to Automald.
And it was like, I'm just imagining that conversation. Why?
Boss's orders.
Yodam told me to?
It's like,
I could see Garuza going, I need to know why.
See, I imagine the opposite scenario. I imagine Yodana just approaching him like, how do I meet King Olodin? And Garuza going, oh, come with me.
Yeah, come here, I did that once, hold on.
Just no questions asked, like, oh, we're going to see the king? Sure. I can get us to the king.
He's just sitting going, yeah, it's a quick trip, come on. Let me go hijack somebody again. Yeah, I can see both of that.
So Cena goes in with King Express, and she's just rushing ahead faster than the others can keep up with her. In fact, she's so strong that she's overwhelming Garza, and he can't keep up with her speed.
Makes sense.
Giordano states, like, I thought you could hijack them.
Give it time, he becomes a pirate this episode.
Cena brings in the roller to, like, trip up Jokey and pushes him towards the others so that they can, like, hey, you guys attack him simultaneously. But there are civilians caught in the way. But Cena is so confident nothing will go wrong, she can't stop herself, even when she wants to.
Like, and this is that moment where, like, everything clicking into place for the episode works out perfectly. It shows
It's
that they
like
did a very good job on the story.
her pessimistic side would have looked out for civilians.
Right.
Thankfully,
Like,
the others, pick up the car in time and trip up the attack and whatnot.
and I understand that mech has hands. I keep forgetting that mech has hands.
I was shocked to see it because it's like, wait, there's a tiny hand in there?
Like, we know, there's not one in the shovel arm, but I keep forgetting that there's one in the jet side.
So, Sayo leaves the mech to go and look for the missing Cena to tell her why she's needed and why it's important for her to return. Because it's because of the pessimistic side that Cena can be Cena, that she can rush ahead with confidence because she's already calculated the worst case scenarios.
Which, again, it's expertly done for this, even especially for character development. Is like, and for the story itself, is they did a great job writing this episode, because everything plays out very naturally and honest. Nothing about this episode seems forced.
And this Cena asks, like, so it's okay if I come back? And the other one shows up and says, no, it's not okay if you come back. I want you back.
Because now she realizes her own worth and the worth of all the parts.
So this raises the question, what part of Tarantula was lost?
His love of marshmallows.
See, I think that's actually it, though. Like, I think he lost his fun side.
Right, because, like, going off of what we saw of his, Death Knell episode, which turned out to not be a Death Knell, it was him having fun.
Right, like, it's one thing to, like, be eating marshmallows while playing a game of red light, green light, but he was, like, getting into a rap battle, and...
Right, like...
And, like, he didn't
and
even...
Then,
like,
and
Juro was just there for the picking, but he's like, no, 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 we're gonna set the stage.
Right. And, like, you get... Like, this episode, he's all... understandably, because he got ripped by Yoda.
Right,
But, like,
he passes it off as like, I'm just down right now because, I just got my ass torn by the boss. But it's like,
something's off.
No, I think maybe you actually lost the part of your personality that had fun. That, like, enjoyed what he was doing. Like, Tarantula wasn't just taking over the Earth because that's what we're doing. Like, no, he was having fun with it.
Like, if that is what happened with him, it's going to be a part of him that I'm going to miss.
Right. Because that was a core part of who he was. And it's why we got some of the weird-ass monsters that we did, but those monsters also made for good episodes.
But, oh, the stage that gets set.
Sorry. So, uh, Garza is able to hijack the train, and so they have no choice but to call in Oladin for backup. It's clearly a trap, but at least they
He's
can
gonna
walk
go
in
anyway.
knowing that it's a trap rather than walking in blind.
Oh, and what a hell of a trap.
So yeah, uh, Oladin shows up and Silent Cena go after Yodana, asking like, "What did you want with the king, anyways?" Who knows?
I don't know.
Now the show begins.
That's what I want to know too.
Because that's when Emperor Yodam himself shows up, manifesting from Yodana's body, to deliver a message to Oladin. Hey, you guys have been rebelling against me for a while now. That's going to stop. The Earth isn't ready for me to take it over yet,
But it's coming.
but it's coming, and if I have to make it happen myself, I will.
And I love the emphasis on that entire statement because it's one of those, like, everybody has that moment of like, oh crap, how? And he just goes, fuck you, that's how. And just blows up the entire area.
Yeah, he just wipes 6 blocks with a single blow.
Without even breaking a sweat.
Literally just a single swing of his arm. Thousands of people dead.
It's a good thing they've got Dragon Balls. I mean, Kaname Stones.
We don't have them all yet, so.
Close enough. Come on, you know they're gonna have them all by the end of the show.
Well, yeah. Next week's episode.
yeah, the preview.
But we'll get to that. So Emperor Yodam himself has finally shown his face, and his voice actor is Kazuhiro Yamaji, who previously played the role of Karasuma Kei, the director of Bored.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense and very good choosing. He was kind of a dick.
No, he was the cool one that like.
Oh, he was the cool one.
Yeah.
He wasn't the.
He wasn't the douchey one at the end. No, he was the cool one that like actually helped them and did his job.
Oh, okay. He wasn't the one who was being evil.
No, he wasn't the evil one. He's the one that leaves halfway through the show and then sends them their power-ups. He also did a voice role in Den-O. You recently just finished watching Den-O. Do you remember?
Yes, I did.
You remember the final villains, like Entourage of Imagine? Do you remember Golden Lion?
Yeah, the one that just kind of vanished.
It was him.
Nice. Good to know that decent voice actors and actors continue to get work.
Right.
And seeing him go from essentially second in command, or rather the main villain's, the one holding the leash going, focus, you asshole, to being the big bad is actually kind of awesome.
And so Emperor Yodam regresses, leaving just Yodana, who's confused. Why didn't the Emperor appear?
Why didn't anything happen?
Garza just gives the quick explanation of he returned to Jotunheim and then picks her up and they take off.
You blink too fast.
Uh, Leaving the Kiramagers in the middle of the destruction that just happened, all
And the
full,
weight of
yeah, realizing he's too strong. How are we supposed to fight this? What do we do if he appears again?
like, and this is such a good start to this arc because to me this is the true start of the final arc
Right, this is probably it.
because we have the final villain's introduction, that sense of hopelessness that usually comes with it. Like it's this is expertly timed.
The calm before the storm.
Oh, because yeah, we're going right back to that calm.
And we end on the note of King Olden trying to cheer the team up, like, you're the Kiramagers, you can do it.
Is that whole don't worry, we got this, you know, power, friendship, whatever. Like you
Uh,
want to, which whatever you want to call it, trying to hold them together.
and the credit scene is Garuza having explained to Yodana, like, okay, so Emperor Yodam is inside of you.
So like I said with because Pixie mentioned that too. Is like I don't count any of those as canon because they haven't expressly been outside of just being a gag
But this
or
one
explained in a
actually,
little moment.
this one actually is canon, though.
Well, we won't know unless she knows next episode. If she doesn't know, it's
Uh,
still no next episode.
Not like, I think the whole point of it is that she knows, like, now. Like, that would be the whole point of the scene of them explaining to her, like, yeah, so this is the deal with Emperor Yodam.
But like they've always used those as gags
Yes, and
of
it's
some
usually,
fashion. So
and like, actually, a lot more of these are canon than you'd think, because a lot of them are just gags of the Kiramager shooting the shit after the fact.
yeah. Or,
When they glued their robots together, and they make a joke about doing it again.
yeah, that's fair.
Uh, so yeah, most if not all of these are actually canon. One in my particular is like Carantula is just because we got like three monsters all at once, all at the end of the episode. Carantula uses the scene to give us what their names are. That one might not necessarily be canon because that's him talking to the audience,
Right. Yeah. But at the same time, it could have just been him talking to somebody else, and they just,
or him just
you know,
talking to himself.
which, given the fact that Yodana's been around, highly possible now. Because I can now firmly believe Yodana just walking around, just randomly hitting him, not meaning to do it, but making him five every time she does it.
Would he become 5 or would he become 4?
Well, now he should become 4. But I can just picture her just randomly going, "Oh shit, my bad."
Yeah, no, Yodana definitely knows now. That was the whole point of that scene. Was
And they
to.
could have, and like to me that I don't like that because you played off during a gag scene, what would normally be a gag scene of some kind.
But it was a heavy moment, so they.
It lighten it up with all that, which I get. It's like, but it loses the weight and meaning that it could have for Yodana.
I feel like they did it like that because they. The conversation itself wouldn't have been much more than that, so really, you get that shot of her shocked to learn the news of, like, wait, Emperor Yodam is me? Uh, But like, if they did that in like a normal episode, it wouldn't have been much more than that, anyways.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it was more appropriate to just do it here than make us wait next week for it to be ham-fisted in.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. I will admit her being or Yodam being inside of her makes things a lot more understandable for the very start of the episode when Carangela points out that he was yelled at by Yodam, and Yodam goes, "Wait,
Wait,
you met him?" The look of confusion, like, how dare you?
like, I haven't even met him and I outrank you.
But the look on but the that look with Carangela where he has that brief moment of, "Are you kidding me?" Like, you, because as Carangela would think, he popped out of you to yell at me. What the hell? Why are you even bothering us? Like, that brief moment of him just going was
Like,
fantastic.
why are you surprised by this? And that explains his comment during the credit scene of, like, multiple personalities.
Right. Like, it does, like, the him having that revelation of, oh yeah, she didn't know. God, what a fantastic episode. I'm still happy I watched it after Saber.
I don't remember what order I did it in, but... Oh no, I did this one first and then I did Saber. Saber was good, though.
It wasn't terrible. It was actually a lot more interesting. The only here's the major downside of this episode for me. Pixie has now seen in entirety 2 Kamen Riders.
Only 2?
3. Yeah, 3.
Okay.
Drive 01. Yeah. Okay, so 4.
Actually, learn to count.
Shut up. Forgetting which ones we've watched. Drive, X-Aid, 01, and...
Yeah, no, X-Aid was the one I was thinking of, and then you said Drive, and I was like, oh, so 4.
Yeah, so she's seen 4. Smartass. Yes, I know, I'm very pretty. Shut up. But it's bad when the person who has seen 4 episodes, or 4 series, has gone, yeah, we've seen this before. We've seen this story before, and yeah, she's not wrong. Other than that, it's getting much better.
Like, no, like, it is ridiculous how much better the show is with these last 2 episodes, and it's unfortunate that the first arc was so rough to get through. Like, I don't know what it was, but I was just burned out watching it. But
Like,
now I'm actually invested.
Like, and I told Pixies, like, this is what writer versus writer shows should feel like. You take the monsters out of the show, and it gets infinitely much better.
That's an improvement I didn't even notice. That, like, yeah, the monster of the week is just gone because they don't matter.
Right. Like, they're finding ways to make them matter when, we're going the Drive route, the X-Aid route, the O's route, for how the monsters are going to work. I mean, this is literally an O's route. Literally, Kazuri's work this way. So, yeah, we've seen it all before. I was not expecting Dude to be a sword, but I kind of figured that just because. Why the hell not at this point? Because we already have the point that the swords choose their users. So I'm like, it's only a matter of time before one becomes an actual sentient sword. Was not expecting the person to transform into the sword. That was unexpected.
Yeah, that part was weird. Like, wait, what?
Like, I would have expected, like, Saber's sword to turn human before someone else turned into a sword.
Did you forget King of Arthur?
Well, yeah, I know King of Arthur. It's the same guy.
It's not the same guy, but, like, technically Saber's sword did turn human before.
Oh, yeah. But no,
yeah, it's the same guy who gave him the blade. But that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying, is that, like, yeah, Saber's sword did turn
It
human
turned
before.
into, yeah,
It turned into a
like
giant
quickly.
robot.
Yeah, and it was sentient because it picked up Saber and used him like a sword.
So literally, what you just said
Yeah, yeah,
happened.
it did. I meant like literal human,
I
not.
know, but what you said
Yeah,
happened.
it is exactly what happened, and it's sad that my brain just kind of. That's how
Oh,
uninteresting all of that was.
I mean, yeah, I forgot that happened too until you just said that.
Like Saber has its good points, but like this entire episode for Saber, and I'll end up touching on this tomorrow with Zero. This felt more like a down to earth Kamen Rider series. You had them doing just normal things again.
Right, they were like, "Hey, you know what? We need to bring up our spirits after all the heaviness that just fell onto us. Let's do the end of year cleaning. Let's clean up and get rid of the dust of the past. Let's celebrate with some soba. Like, we'll make a thing of it and have some fun and bond."
Hell, May goes back to work.
We see her boss.
Yeah, we see her boss. Toma decides, hey, it's been a while. I'm gonna go turn this in person with you. You know, like just
It's
them being themselves
it's
and
a
not being the writer.
it's a very important part of Rider that the first arc of Saber was missing. The downtime.
Right.
Let them
Like,
be
because
people.
and like because we touched on this ourselves that that's we felt that's what was hurting it is like there was no downtime. It's writer all the time.
In between
Even in their
fights, they're just
even
talking
in
about the
their downtime,
fights.
right. Even in their downtime, it was just still writer. So having this humanity point of reconnecting with the characters as the characters rather than the writers, and it's nice. It makes the show infinitely better.
Like I
It's
said,
also bad when taking the monsters out makes no difference in the episode.
like I said before, I didn't give Zio enough credit for its downtime.
Zio had a lot of problems. Its downtime was not one of them.
Like, oh, every time they go out of the house, it's all Rider related. But hey, at least they sat down and ate breakfast when they were inside the house.
And was ate pie.
And yeah, and
A lot of pie.
High Priest of the Demon King, but he still loves pie.
Yeah, that's what she said.
What?
Yeah, I could. Yeah,
That doesn't.
I could. No, yeah, it does. Demon King loves pie. Yes, it works. Shut up. I'm not getting. I'm not going to explain it better on the podcast because I don't want Zero to yell at me if he listens to this. Shut up.
That is the wrong kind of pie, dude.
I'm aware. Shut up.
Okay, so Kiramager, next week's
I do love
episode
the shit out of
preview.
that. Somebody has cavities.
Yeah, we got a toothache monster. You know that thing Kiramager did like episode 3?
Yeah.
Uh,
That was Canderella's first monster, wasn't it?
yes, but it wasn't supposed to be a toothache monster. It just got infected.
Yeah. Because it was supposed to just go, hey, eat sweets, have fun.
Yeah, because she was trying to collect happiness, so it's like, hey, sweets make people happy.
Yeah. I missed her as a villain.
Uh, so,
Because a lot of her stuff wasn't necessarily villainous. Also, we got a hell of a song.
so next week's episode, Takamichi gets challenged by Garza to some kind of crystallian duel. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is dealing with a toothache monster, but they can't crack his head. They need, a jackhammer.
A drill. I don't want to go to the dentist. It's bad when that's something that gets thought of because of an episode of fucking Power Rangers. I don't want to go to the dentist. All this episode is going to make me think of is having to go to a dentist.
You got something against dentists, or?
No, I just don't like shots in my mouth.
Are you getting tooth surgery? Are they like?
I've had enough teeth pulled that it's just a thing.
Oh,
I don't want to
okay.
go back. Yeah.
Okay.
It's that it's all off memory. Even if I'm just going in to get a cleaning, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to get a shot. I know where it will eventually lead at some point at one of my trips.
So, thanks for joining us tonight, everybody.
Yeah, that made it weird. We'll be back next week with hopefully even more fantasticness, because this show is kicking ass.
And also,
like there were points of this series where I was like, I had early doubts with this series that were quickly washed away in that flood of this is funny as hell. It's poking fun at, Super Sentai and the tropes and all that. And then it was, this is awesome because it also stands on its own. It's like, and it's just all encompassing. It's just been fantastic. Even with the weird Jolly Ranchers.
I forgot about that.
Hold on, my phone's gonna talk.
Yeah, this has been a hell of a show. So thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next time.
I'll be back tomorrow for Kamen Rider Saber for a halfway decent episode, and then we'll be back next week for even more Machine Sentai Kiramager. God damn it, I fucked up the outro. I did fuck up 3 weeks in a row.
4 more weeks. 4 more